universe has a purpose is not just a classical philosophical problem. It is the link between three seemingly separate fields: physics, biology, and cognition. Thousands of years ago, when humans looked up at the sky, we noticed something unusual: order. Planets move in orbits, seasons alternate regularly. And in living organisms, chemical processes occur in stable cycles. This order seems to suggest that there is some intention behind everything. However, delving into the physical foundation of the universe, we see a completely different picture. The universe began with a chaotic explosion, the Big Bang, where energy and matter erupted in absolute uncertainty. With no plan, no direction. From there, complex structures like galaxies, stars, planets, and eventually life gradually formed. If the beginning was random, how could order emerge? In modern physics, this question is interpreted through the concept of self-organization. Complex systems can generate order from chaos without an external controlling hand. This phenomenon appears at many levels, from the crystallization of molecules to the formation of storms and even biological evolution. Physicist Ilya Prigogine pointed out that far from equilibrium systems can maintain and develop complex structures thanks to the flow of energy through them. In that sense, the universe is a giant far from equilibrium system, not static but in motion and self-organizing. This leads to a fundamental paradox. If everything can self-organize without purpose, does the concept of purpose still have objective meaning? Or is it just an illusion humans impose when trying to find order in chaos? One reason many thinkers believe the universe has a purpose is the stability and precision of natural laws. From gravity to Planck's constant, all physical quantities seem to be chosen at an astonishingly subtle level. If the gravitational constant g were slightly stronger, stars would collapse sooner. If weaker, the universe would be too diffuse to form galaxies. If the ratio between protons and neutrons differed by just 1 part in a million, carbon, the foundation of life, might not exist. This fine-tuning leads to a famous question. Why does the universe seem so precisely adjusted to allow life to exist? In scientific philosophy, this is called the anthropic principle. This principle has two versions, weak and strong. We wouldn't. The stronger version suggests that the universe must have these properties to facilitate conscious life, almost implying a purpose. However, modern physicists often argue that the anthropic principle does not prove purpose, but only describes the necessary relationship between the observer and the observed environment. Some cosmologists like Stephen Hawking have pointed out that if there exists a multiverse, countless parallel universes with different physical constants, then fine-tuning is no longer a mystery. Among billions of possibilities, there must inevitably be one random universe suitable for life, and we simply exist in that universe. Thus, the order we see is not evidence of purpose but merely the result of observational selection. Yet, the counter-argument also has weight. If physical laws are subtle enough to generate consciousness, the ability to wonder about the universe itself, is that truly just random? Or in the deepest foundation of physics, is there a natural mechanism that makes the universe tend to evolve toward higher complexity? If in classical physics, the universe was likened to a giant predictable machine, quantum mechanics completely shattered that belief. At the subatomic level, all events are probabilistic. An electron has no definite position until observed. A photon can simultaneously pass through two slits, existing in two superimposed states. The universe, at its core, is built on randomness. But it is precisely this randomness that opens up the possibility of everything. If quantum phenomena are merely probabilistic, then the universe doesn't need a plan to generate order. Because in an infinite space of probabilities, order will eventually appear as a special case. Some physicists even argue that from primitive quantum chaos, the formation of cosmic structures is statistically inevitable. This makes the question of purpose more complex. In a world where all fundamental events are random, purpose cannot exist at the particle level. It can only appear at a higher level where information and structure accumulate. Physics calls this the emergent tendency of order. Order is not imposed, but emerges when a system is sufficiently complex. For example, a human with consciousness, emotions, and logical thinking is formed entirely from inanimate atoms. There is no intention at the electron or proton level to create a human. But at a higher organizational level, consciousness emerges as an emergent property. If the universe also operates according to that principle, then purpose may not be by design but rather a natural result of complexity. Over billions of years of evolution, the universe has created structures sophisticated enough to observe themselves, conscious beings. The emergence of consciousness is one of the most mysterious phenomena in natural history. It makes us question if inanimate matter can develop into thought. Could the universe's purpose be to achieve self-awareness? Some thinkers like Teilhard de Chardin argue the universe is evolving toward consciousness, toward what he called the omega point, where matter and spirit unite. However, most modern scientists view this as merely metaphorical. Consciousness is not the destination but a byproduct of the evolutionary process. But even as a byproduct, it has the power to shape how we understand reality. Consciousness gives the universe the ability to reflect upon itself. When an astronomer observes light from a star 13 billion years ago, that is not just scientific behavior, but a moment when the universe sees its own past. Thus, in this scope, humans become the self-aware elements of the universe. S purpose becomes the question of consciousness. If consciousness is merely a product of probability, then all emotions, ideals, or moral awareness are just results of random processes. But if consciousness is a form of the highest self-organizing order, a natural step in the universe's evolutionary process, then we can view it as a form of natural purpose, not set by anyone, but inevitably led to by the laws of physics. The question of the universe's purpose ultimately returns to humans. Whether the universe has an objective purpose or not, we still must face subjective purpose, the meaning of existence. If everything is random, then morality, responsibility, and ideals are merely evolutionary illusions that help us survive. But if purpose can emerge from natural laws, then consciousness, as the universe's highest product, has the right to create its own purpose. From this perspective, the question is no longer whether the universe has a purpose, but whether the universe can have purpose through us. Humans with reasoning, creativity, and reflection are the part of the universe that assigns itself purpose. The universe doesn't need purpose to exist, but we need purpose to exist in the universe. In biology, purposeful behavior is merely an expression of natural selection. An organism moving toward food or reproduction doesn't do so because it understands purpose, but because those behaviors help its genes survive. But as intelligence develops, humans begin to separate themselves from blind evolution. We can choose to act for abstract ideals. Here, purpose becomes a product of awareness, no longer completely governed by biological programming. Perhaps the universe has no other purpose than to allow itself to be observed. Perhaps life is just a consequence of probability. But in the moment, humans contemplate the laws governing all things. In that instant, consciousness questions its own origins, purpose, even if just an illusion, has truly been formed.